Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Autistic Ramblings podcast. It's your boy, Kenny Wayne, as they call me in the streets. Just kidding. I don't hang out in the streets. I never go outside. Except when I go to work. Gotta work them 40. Know what I'm saying? Anyways, this is my first podcast. I'll be honest with you. I am severely underprepared and don't really know what to talk about. This week I'm being affected by oak allergies, so if there's like a random pause, it's probably me just hitting the mute the mic button. That way I don't accidentally ear rape you by coughing real loud into the microphone. Um, Anyways, let's get started. The only thing that's been on my mind today really is food and the Chevrolet Corvette. Now, I've already eaten, so food's not really on my mind anymore. But let me tell you, the Corvette is always on my mind. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about having a modified C6 Corvette. For those of y'all who aren't car people, because this is not exclusively an automotive podcast, C6 refers to the sixth generation of the Corvette, which was produced from 2005 to 2013. Now, there was no more flip-up headlights, which sucks. But I'll be honest with you, it is better looking. Just, it's cool having pop-up and down headlights, you know? There's like a whole song made about it by Donut Media on YouTube. It's like pop-up, up and down headlights. It's It'd be a cool ringtone, but I couldn't listen to that in the car. I would just honestly lose my mind. Um, Anyways, though, this, from what I remember, if I'm remembering correctly, I read too much about cars to keep everything in line. This is the generation where the ZR1 was introduced. It also had a very sick engine. It had a 427, which refers to a approximately 7-liter V8, which means if you add up the space inside of all the cylinders, it's 7 freaking liters. So that's like, you know, more than 2 bottles of blueberry Faygo. I don't know why they made blueberry Faygo. Number one, why do you want blueberry soda? Number two, why do you need 3 liters of soda as well? That's a lot of soda. But let me tell you, 3 liters is not a lot when it comes to engine displacement. This bad boy had 7 liters. Chevrolet just said, you know, with this new Corvette, we're going to walk on the field slinging dick, and everybody's going to know what's up, okay? And let me tell you, everybody knows what's up. If you're on car Instagram at all, which I kind of am, my Instagram algorithm is absolute garbage. I'll be honest with you. It's just the most terrible thing I've ever seen. It goes from like illegal street races to war videos. But on the illegal street races, guess who's always winning? It's a Corvette. They beat Lamborghinis. I mean, people don't street race Ferraris because Ferraris are lame. But it beats like twin turbo Lamborghini Huracans, which make like 1,200 horsepower, you know? And they have all-wheel drive, which means all 4 tires get power to them. The Corvette is 2-wheel drive. Only the rear tires get power. And let me tell you, they are fucking sick. They are the sickest car I think Chevy has ever made. And I will be honest with you, the new one's absolutely insane. From the factory, it has more than 1,000 horsepower. And you can get it for like less than $200,000, which I know is a lot of money in this economy. I mean, it's a lot of money regardless. Like, let's just be honest with you. $200,000 for a car? I can't afford that. I drive a van, like a red minivan. I wish I didn't. Well, actually, I love the van. I wish I had the van, and I wish I had a Corvette. That's all I want. I want the van so I can do dad stuff, and I want the Corvette so I can drive as fast as I can. I hope I don't die. But, you know, I've got a little boy, so I, don't drive fast anymore because he is definitely worth living for. But let me tell you, if he wants to get into racing, Daddy's buying a Corvette. That's what I'll say. So you know what, Bubba? You're going to learn how to drive in a Corvette. You're going to race a Corvette. You're going to modify the Corvette. And you're going to sling dick all over the track in the Corvette. And he's going to be like, Dad, I'm like 20. I can't start racing now. And I'll be like, dude, it's never too late to start. Well, actually, like low-key it is. You got to start when you're young. But, we'll get past that. We'll jump that hurdle when we get there. So anyways, back to the Corvette. Absolutely freaking sick. Insane. The supercharger whine is awesome. I'll be honest with you, if you're a Hellcat guy, you're going to get pissed at me, but Hellcats are slow. I mean, not compared to my minivan. They're pretty quick compared to my minivan. But then again, so are like, you know, geriatric grandpas with walkers. I mean, the minivan's not made to be fast. It's meant to haul kids and all their shit for soccer practice. I hope my son doesn't do soccer, by the way. Like, I mean, soccer's fun. It's fun to watch, but I don't want him to fake injuries. You know, like if you're going to get hurt, be a man. Actually get hurt a little bit. Not too bad. I don't want to see my son get hurt, right? But, I mean, I was a boy once. I got hurt many a times. When I was, I think 7, I was in first grade. I was jumping up and down on a trampoline with my second cousin, who was my age. Kind of weird how he's my great aunt's kid and he's younger than me. But anyways, that's beside the point. There was no net around the trampoline, but they did have those foam pads over the frame. And I fell on the one part where there was no foam pad. And I just got back up. I smacked my head straight into the freaking frame. And I just got back up and I was like, oh man, that was crazy, right? Uh-huh. And then I saw how everyone was looking at me. And I wiped what I thought was sweat away from my eyes. But it wasn't sweat. It was blood. I blew my eyebrow open. And now I've got a cool scar. It doesn't get me girls or anything, but like I look at it and I'm like, yeah, that's right. You've been through some shit, Mainly being fat and off balance. I was a fat kid. I was bullied profusely for it. Don't want your sympathy though. It made me stronger. Keep it real. Sometimes you need to be bullied just a little bit. I think society would be better if you're bullied a little bit. Same way that the Corvette fucking bullies Hellcats. Okay? Hellcats are like, oh man, I got 707 horsepower. Straight out the factory. Well, guess what? Your car is fat and bloated. It weighs a lot. You can't take a curve at any speed. Can't take a turn at any speed. And also, too, like, it's just, it's a cool engine, right? But it's Chrysler. I mean, what pedigree does Chrysler have? The only, like, amazing thing I think that Chrysler's made in a long time, I mean, muscle cars are cool. I'm not really a muscle car guy. I'm more of a sports car guy, which is why I freaking love the Dodge Viper. It is by no means my favorite car of all time, but it's really cool. Because the first gen Viper was kind of just like, hey, how can we low-key kill people? Because it had a huge 8-liter, I believe it was 8-liter in that generation. I know it was 8 liters or more. Let me check first gen Viper. I don't want to be lying on the Viper's name. First gen Viper engine. Let's see what pops up. Yeah, 8-liter V10. 400 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. Okay? Which is just insane. 8 liters? That's a whole extra liter bigger than the 427. Okay? Now, let me tell you, it only came in a manual, right? So, you've got to have some hair on your nuts to drive this thing. All right? You can't just hop in and, oh, I've got 2 pedals. No, you've got 3 pedals. Okay? And you've only got 2 feet. So, you've got to know how to use those feet. All right? Oh, it says it's conceived as a 5.9 Magnum with 2 extra cylinders and a longer stroke. Huh. That's weird. I don't like that because I don't like the 5.9 Magnum. I'm not going to let it change my opinion about the Viper, though. It was pretty cool. Similar to an LS engine. It's a push rod engine, right? 2 valve per cylinder. Different than the LS engine. This is a V10 and not a V8. Right? When I say LS engine, I know there's multiple LS engines with an S at the end, but when I say the LS engine, it's the LS engine we're talking about, which is the 427 or the LS7 as it's known. Anyways, though, yeah, Dodge basically, like Chrysler Group as a whole, was basically like, you know what? It's 1992, okay? I think what we're going to do is we are going to give people something with a huge, torquey, high horsepower V10, right? Which, I mean, 50 horsepower per liter, not that much, but it's still 400 horsepower in a rear-wheel drive car with no traction control and no stability control. Do you know how many people probably wrap these things around poles because they were like, hey, I've got a fast car? It's like, dude, this car is not for the faint of heart, okay? Let me tell you, a Corvette's a little more forgiving, and I think that's a good thing. Because guys like me want to drive Corvettes, and I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'll be honest with you. I do a lot of stupid shit, or at least I used to. Becoming a father, I will be honest, I recommend to all men who aren't, like wife beaters or, like degenerates, complete degenerates, anyways. But all men who really need to get their shit together, become a dad and stay there for your kid. It will make you grow up a lot, right? The same way that driving a Corvette will either kill you or make you grow up a lot, at least in the way that you drive. It's probably not going to change your personality for the better. I'll be honest. I mean, Corvette guys are chill usually. Either that or they're like really old and honestly kind of assholes. They're like, hey, I drive a awesome car that you would love to have, but guess what? I'm going to drive it 20 miles per hour under the speed limit in the fast lane. It's like, dude, are you kidding me? I'm in my minivan trying to go 80, and you're in this thing that could just wipe me off the face of the earth going 60? I don't get it. I live in Texas. We go 80 here. I'm sorry if you live somewhere like Chicago or New York where y'all don't have freedom, unfortunately. And I'm really sorry if you don't live in America because, man, unless you live in Germany, y'all got the Autobahn. It's so smart. Who needs speed limits? It's not like people are going to start driving 200 miles per hour. Number one, your car probably can't do 200 miles per hour. Number two, if you have a car that can do 200 miles per hour and you want to go 200 miles per hour, you're going to do it anyways, right? Why have a speed limit? Why waste all the money paying cops to give people speeding tickets, right? Like, oh, it's dangerous. It's like, dude, whatever. Who cares? Driving in general is just dangerous, I don't think that anybody... I mean, Germany's proof of it. I don't know. Maybe it's a different culture. Maybe I shouldn't talk so succinctly, because I will be honest with you, Americans have... I mean, there's a reason we have the phrase, America, fuck yeah. I mean, we just... Gosh, why are we so great? I mean, sometimes we're a little dumb, but I don't think it's actually being dumb. I think it's just being real courageous, personally. Like, how many guys do you know who are going to go onto a South Texas highway where there's hogs that weigh like 400 pounds sometimes? There's white-tailed deer. And, to be honest with you, there's a lot of drunk drivers in South Texas. But who's going to go on that highway down there, right? And say, you know what? For the love of the sport, I'm going to drive this car as fast as I can. And I'm going to drive it against a guy who's doing the same thing. He's driving as fast as he can. And sometimes it's for money, right? Sometimes, though, as a guy who used to street race, I won't tell you where, won't tell you when, because I don't know if that's still a crime or if statute of limitations is up or whatever. I will say, though, as a guy who used to street race, it is so fun just going as fast as you can, even when you have a slow car like I did. I had a Scion TC. Funny enough, speaking of the Scion TC, my personality like completely changed after I wrecked that car. I rolled it 4 times, going 85 miles an hour. And by the grace of God, I walked out. I will be honest with you. You want to start believing in God again? Roll a car 4 times and walk out. I'm not telling you to roll a car because that's real dangerous and you probably won't walk out. But if you do it, let me tell you, it'll put a spot in your shorts and it'll put the Lord in your heart. That is for sure. There's no other way to say that. Sorry for the long pause. I have a nicotine addiction and I had to put a Rogue pouch in. That's just 2 things I love. Nicotine and cars. I can't get enough of each. And it's crazy. I drive this minivan and sometimes I'll pull up next to Corvettes and they'll kind of look at me like I'm some lame, milquetoast guy. And then what do I usually tell them? I'll say, hey, can you rev that for my son? Right? And what do? If you're a cool car guy, you rev it for the little kid. Because my son will go, yeah! And it's great. I love seeing that. It's awesome. The car community overall is not toxic. There are some toxic people. I won't say what cars they drive. Because I really don't want to piss off some of these guys. But for the most part, it's pretty chill. Yeah, most people in the car community, like especially if a kid is interested in cars, they'll like let a kid sit in the car at a meet. I've even seen at some meets, right? They'll let a kid like, rev the engine, they'll keep the brake on and keep it out of gear and let it just give it a little rev real quick. And that's super cool. I saw a guy do that with an FDRX7 one time, and the kid held the freaking pedal down to the floor and just blah, da, 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 boom, boom, boom. That's all you heard. It was great. Um, those cars are strange. They're cool. They use a very weird engine, though. Speaking of weird engines, Subarus. Now, I used to drive a Forester. I know what you're thinking. No, I am not gay. I have a child to prove that. But the Forester was pretty cool. The only thing I hated is that even though it was supremely reliable, got me everywhere I needed to go, they chose a CVT, which for you who aren't car people, is a continuously variable transmission, which from I've never opened one up, but from how I've seen it described, is basically two cones pointing different ways with a belt or a chain connecting them, and it messes with your gear ratios. There's no point in me getting into an explanation, actually. I don't know why I even started. But my other main complaint with Subaru is that my Forester burnt engine oil like crazy. It burned so much oil. I would always have to get it topped off, and it didn't matter what oil I used. I tried Royal Purple. I tried Mobil 1. I tried Castrol. It didn't matter. So what did I do? I just said, hey, give me the engine oil that's supposed to last the longest. And then what would happen? 3,000 miles down the road, it wouldn't show up on the dipstick. And they'd say, oh, I don't know, maybe you have a leak somewhere. No, no leak at all. The engine burns oil. I love Subarus. They're cool. If you get one, just know that it'll burn oil. That's one thing I like about the Corvette. They don't burn oil because the pistons aren't laying down flat. It's at an angle. Oil can actually drain back into the pan, into the sump. But yeah, oil can actually drain back down into the pan. By the way, I'm not sure if I told you yet. You might hear some random pauses in here. I'm gonna try and delete them. But of course, I chose Oak Allergy Week, which, for some reason just hit me out of nowhere to record a podcast. I just knew, hey, if I don't start now, I'm probably never gonna start. And I figured out how to do it today, and I don't want to forget. So I figure if I do it today, get into the editing, save the site, I'll know exactly where to go. Also, yes, I am prone to what people call coke talking, which is where I get real passionate about something and I jump from subject to subject to subject, and it's all kind of under the same umbrella, right? Like, if we're talking about cars, which I've talked about cars a fair amount during this short little episode, it probably won't be too long of an episode. I don't know when I'll stop. I mean, who knows? I could coke talk at you for 6 hours about different cars I like, but I don't think you're going to listen for 6 hours. Trust me, I would not. We're 18 minutes in. I haven't even talked about that much. It's mainly, well, actually, no, I'll be honest with you, I've talked about probably more than most people would. But let me tell you, for a while there, the C7 held my heart. The 7th gen Corvette. I just thought it was so sharp looking. The ZR1 could keep up with the Nissan GTR around the Nürburgring. It was great. And it is a great car. But once you hop on Instagram and you get onto car Instagram and you start seeing all these illegal street races, right? Or maybe they're legal too. I'll be honest with you, no street race is legal. You can go down to Mexico, but most guys just say they went down to Mexico, and really they were in like California or Texas or Arizona, some border state. Probably not New Mexico, considering New Mexico is not the nicest state from what I've heard. Never been. I'm sure there's very nice parts. I just heard overall it's kind of barren and desolate and like filled with meth. I heard that Breaking Bad is like just scratching the surface on how much meth there is in New Mexico. Which, by the way, I haven't seen Breaking Bad. I really need to watch it. I started watching it, and then drama happened with an ex, and I was like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I just was dealing with drama, lost time. But I gotta watch Breaking Bad. If I were Walter White, I would probably still drive the Pontiac Aztec. I mean, it's probably one of the ugliest cars ever made. I don't want to say it's definitively the ugliest. I mean, it has been ranked as the ugliest car ever made, personally. I don't know if it is. I've seen some very ugly cars. But then again, a lot of cars I think are cute are kind of ugly, to be honest. Like the Scion XB, right? Let's take it back to 2003. I think it was 2003 in their entries, maybe 2004. It's just a little box, front wheel drive. It's got a four banger in it, 4-cylinder engine for those of y'all who aren't car people. It's got a little four banger in it. I believe sourced from the Corolla, if I'm not mistaken. So it's reliable, but it's not really that ugly. I mean, it's not really that cute. It's kind of ugly. And I used to just be obsessed with them. I thought they were the coolest thing ever. I'm like, dude, it's a box. Like, I make forts out of these. I think I was like 7, maybe 6 or 7 when they came out. And I just remember, like, dude, I make forts out of these things. Why wouldn't I want to drive one, right? Like, when we got a new appliance, dude, I played with that box until it was, like, literally just in shreds. It was terrible. Let's see, actually, when the Scion XB came out. Release date. Let's see. Yep, June 2003. And, actually looking at it, it looks a lot better than most new cars. I don't like the second gen XB. I think it's gross, personally. It's like, what are you trying to be? Are you trying to be a modernized version of this cute little box? Yeah, you are. And it's not looking good on you. Let's just be real, okay? It's kind of like, when someone loses a lot of weight and they got a lot of extra skin, it's like technically you're healthier, but you don't really look better. I mean, like, you look better, but, like, do you? I don't have a lot of extra skin. I need to lose weight. Maybe that's just me being a hater. That probably is just me being a hater. Anyways, though, Scion XB. I mean, looking at it now, it's actually not even ugly. Maybe that's just bias, but I actually really like that little thing. I think it'd be cool to turn it into, like, a little rice mobile. Just maybe try and convert it to all-wheel drive so all 4 wheels get some power. Maybe add some forced induction and a new engine. Maybe a K swap. I think it's tall enough to handle a K. For those of y'all who aren't car people, the K series is an engine made by Honda. They are known for being able to hold like 800 horsepower with the stock lower, if you want to call it that. But anyways, I mean, fully built, forgive me for saying lower, that I sounded so dumb. But with a fully built K series engine, you can make like 1200 horsepower. Which, I don't know actually if I'd want to drive a 1200 horsepower Scion XB. It kind of sounds like a death wish. I mean, a Scion did save me from dying. I'll be honest with you. Toyotas are cool. Scion's made by Toyota. Toyotas are cool. I mean, Toyotas usually don't make that much power. And they usually get terrible gas mileage. But they're still cool because they're going to last you forever. It's like, whatever. This thing weighs 3,000 pounds and gets 16 miles to the gallon. Well, I know that in 30 years, it's still going to weigh 3,000 pounds and get 16 miles to the gallon. You can't really say that about a lot of cars. And as much as I simp for the Chevy Corvette, I will say I'm not big on Chevy's commuter cars. Now, they did have some cool stuff, like the Sonic Turbo, right? Little hot hatch. That's pretty cool. But when you get into, like, their little crossovers and stuff, not a big fan of those. Specifically the Blazer and the Trailblazer. I think the new Blazer really just ruined the nameplate because the old Blazer was so cool, man. It was full size, it was 4-wheel drive, it wasn't a unibody, it was built on a truck frame. It was just so sick, and it's like, dude, what is it now? It's a freaking grocery getter. It's It's a mom car, you know? Not that moms aren't cool. I love moms, especially hot moms. But, well, I don't know, actually. I haven't really seen many hot moms drive those or Ford Explorers. I've seen a lot of hot moms drive Lexuses, though. I'll be honest with you. Some of those ladies getting out of Lexuses, I'm like, ooh, you. I see why you're a mother. Someone got smart and wifed you up, and I respect you. That's how I feel. I won't say anything nasty because they're a mother and they deserve respect. But anyways, back to the Scion XB. What's not to love about it, right? It's the antithesis of the Corvette. The Corvette is aerodynamic. This thing is a box. The Corvette has a big fucking V8. This thing has a little four-banger in it. The Corvette's rear-wheel drive, which is better. It's more sporty, right? Because your weight transfers backwards when you take off, and so it puts more weight over the rear tires. Also, too, you can actually break those rear tires loose, send it around a corner sideways, and have fun as long as you know what you're doing. I don't recommend doing that because most of y'all don't know what you're doing. But then the Scion, it's like, hey, you know, if you get a little more power in there, if you have a manual and you know how to pop the clutch right, you can do a little front wheel burnout. It's going to be one wheel because I guarantee you don't have a limited slip. And for those of y'all who aren't car people, a limited slip differential will lock up both wheels so, you know, both wheels receive power. How an open differential works, basically the wheel with the least traction receives the power. Again, sorry to keep pausing. I'm going to try and edit out most of these pauses. But yeah, you know, I think what I'm getting at is if you're truly a car guy, right, you can find something to like about a lot of cars. I'm not saying you have to like every car. Like, I don't know any car guy who really likes the Yugo. For those of y'all who don't know, the Yugo was made in, guess where? Yugoslavia, which is a country that doesn't exist anymore. And I'll be honest with you, they were probably the biggest pieces of shit ever made. They had like a 1.3 liter 4-cylinder engine, terrible build quality. I mean, reports of people trying to go, you know, 45 miles an hour and the car's shaking the whole time. It's just shaking. Trying to turn, terrible. Which shouldn't be because the Yugo was small. It was so light. Like, let's see how much the Yugo weighed. It weighed 2,000 pounds. I mean, that's like nothing. The Yugo GV model weighs 1,860 pounds. I mean, that's not that much. And the fact that the brakes were so terrible, maybe it was just because it was a Soviet bloc country, an Eastern bloc country, and everything there was made terribly, like absolutely terrible. I would be honest with you, though. The Yugo, kind of boring looking, but kind of cute, you know? Like, if the Yugo were all-wheel drive and it had a turbocharged 4-cylinder in it and it was made fucking anywhere except Yugoslavia or any other Soviet country, like if it was made in Germany, if this was a Volkswagen Golf that was all-wheel drive with a turbo 4-banger, it would have been on a rally circuit. Like, to keep the body. Keep the body. The body's now assembled by Volkswagen, but it looks exactly the same. If you were just to make it all-wheel drive or even rear-wheel drive, that would be really cool, actually. I like rear-wheel drive cars, especially rear-wheel drive rally cars. They're super sick because you don't have grip at all 4 tires. I feel like you got to have a little more skill. And that's saying something because rally drivers as a whole are the best drivers on the planet. F1 has the best racers. Rally has the best drivers. Think about that. Anyways, though, I mean, yeah, you know, I don't know many guys who like the Yugo. I'm one of those guys who thinks it's cute. I would only own one just to say I have one, though. I'd be like, yeah, guess what I have? I have a fucking Yugo. You want to go sit in it? That's all we can do. We can't drive it anywhere because this thing is unsafe, and we will die if we hit a pothole at 20 miles an hour. Another car you might fuck up if you hit a pothole at 20 miles an hour, I will be honest, the C6 Corvette, depending how deep that pothole is. But it's made in America. It freaking slings dick on the competition. I mean, it's beautiful. It's rear wheel drive with a big V8. That V8 has titanium connecting rods. You can add so much boost to it. If it's already boosted, guess what? You can turn it up. Just swap out some of the internals and turn it up. It's a sick fucking car. Maybe the XB isn't quite the antithesis. It's pretty close to the antithesis of the C6 Corvette, but the Yugo definitely is. I mean, it's the exact opposite. Yugo's front wheel drive, Corvette's rear. They're both front engine, but I believe the Corvette's engine is more than 5 times the displacement of the Yugo's. The weight, decently similar. Let's see. C6 Corvette weight. That's how you know Google's listening to you, because that was the first thing. 3,200 pounds. Okay, so it weighs 1,200 pounds more. Not as similar as I thought. I will be honest with you. Weight distribution, though, the C6 Corvette has a 50-50 weight distribution. It is beautiful. I mean, just you couldn't ask for a car more perfectly balanced. Because it's 50-50. I mean, there's literally nothing better than 50-50, right? 50% of the weight's up front, 50% in the rear. It's amazing. Now, if my fat ass were to hop in there, it would probably go like 60-40. I'll be real with you. Pardon me. Anyways, though. Yeah. Corvette. Beautiful. Scion XB. Super cute. Yugo. Cute, scary little death trap. Dodge Viper. That's a sexy death trap. Like, if I had to go out in a car, it'd be a Corvette or a Viper. That'd be it. You know, if it's a Viper, I want like a twin turbo 2nd gen Viper, making like, 1,200 horsepower. If it's a Corvette, definitely 6th gen Corvette, supercharged, biggest supercharger I can find. E85 tune on it, or E85 conversion, which actually I don't even know if they were flex fuel or not. Let's see. Flex fuel. It is a conversion you can do. Okay. So, yeah, I would do an E85 conversion. Turn up the boost. Pardon me again. And, yeah, just go absolutely balls to the wall. Huge fat tires. I'd probably just be trying to race anything. I'd pull up next to a guy like me who drives a minivan, and I'd be like, hey, bro, you want to go? And I'd let him win to be a nice guy. And then I would find, like a douchey guy in a BMW who's tailgating people, and I would just put him to sleep. I'd be like, you know what, buddy? They make turn signals for a reason. Start using them. Anyways, thank you for listening to my ramblings, guys. If you could, I don't really know how Spotify works, to be honest, as far as what I'm supposed to ask you to do. But if there's a way to share this, that'd be real cool if you did that. If there's a way to, like, thumbs this up, go ahead and do that if you like it. If you don't like it, don't be a hater, because that's not cool. I mean, I did hate on some stuff, but I said sorry about it. So I feel like that cancels it out. Now, if there's a way to thumbs me down and you're being a hater, all I ask is that you just say sorry when you do it. Anyways, until next time, who knows? Maybe I'll upload another one tomorrow. Maybe I'll upload one next week. Maybe this will be the only one I ever upload, and it's because I died in a car crash tomorrow, which, stood the sign of the cross right now. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Anyways, though, it's been real. Anyone who's listening, you're awesome. I hope you have a great day. And, just before I leave, just know that you're not alone in this world. There's somebody out there who cares about you, whether you know it or not. And if you care about someone who you don't talk to all that often, maybe give them a call. Maybe shoot them a text and just say, hey, sorry we don't talk that much, but how are you doing? And just listen. Sometimes it's nice to just listen. I know that's coming from a guy who just coke talked at you for 34 minutes and 28 seconds now. But, yeah, just try and be a better person. Not that you're not already a great person. I love you if you're listening. I think you're great. But, the world needs more nice people. We need a little bit more love in this world, especially for our fellow man. It's okay to hate on cars, but we just all need to be a little nicer to each other. That's what we should do this week. Let's all just try and be a little nicer to each other. Hopefully this will be up. Right now it's Wednesday, 2:04 p.m. Texas time. So hopefully it's up sometime today. That would be cool. If not, hey, I guess just listen when this thing is up and I'll try and make another one. Love y'all. Uh, anyways,